At the company board meeting, my husband's father, the CEO, glared into my eyes and said, "You're fired." Imagine losing everything in one swift blow. First, I was publicly humiliated, fired by my own father-in-law. But that wasn't the gut punch. The real betrayal hit when I walked through my front door, only to find my husband, Jack, waiting with a glass of scotch and a meticulously highlighted list of women's shelters. That's when I knew with brutal clarity they'd set me up. This isn't just a story about getting fired. It's about what happens when you're systematically underestimated, then discarded like trash. It's about finding your own strength when the people you trusted most turn out to be your biggest enemies. And it all started 3 years earlier at a cybersecurity conference in Boston. Back then I was Violet Monroe, a consultant carving out my own path. My future felt limitless. Then Jack Caldwell walked into my presentation on predictive threat architecture. Unlike everyone else scrolling their phones, he was actually taking notes. He asked smart questions that proved he wasn't just there for the free lunch. He listened, truly listened, to my theories on where cybersecurity was heading. We talked for 2 hours in the hotel lobby. He represented Caldwell Technologies, his family's firm, but he spoke with a measured distance, like he wasn't consumed by it. When he called 3 days later for dinner, it felt like possibility. Our courtship was a study in what I thought was respectful deliberation. Jack introduced me to his world gradually, always checking to see if I was comfortable. At the time, that patience felt like respect. Looking back now, I see it for what it truly was, an assessment. Each stage, a test to see if I'd fit into the space he'd already designated for me. 6 months later, he proposed over coffee, jeans, not a suit. The ring was beautiful, not ostentatious. Everything felt authentic, like he understood I valued substance over performance. I said yes, certain I'd found someone who saw me as an equal. My mother's reaction was a weather warning I chose to ignore. When I told her the news, she paused, then said, "Violet, honey, families like the Caldwells operate differently. You'll always be an outsider." I dismissed it as generational cynicism. Jack had assured me his father, Henry Caldwell, valued expertise regardless of background. I believed him because the alternative, the truth, meant I was walking into something far more complicated than love. The wedding 8 months later felt like my preferences. Elegant, understated, intimate. But later, I'd realize how many choices had been gently steered by Jack. His family's expectations dressed up as my own taste. I kept my maiden name professionally, which Jack publicly supported. Meanwhile, his mother, Patricia, made small pointed comments about tradition. I thought Jack's support proved his progressive values. Now I understand it was just another performance, granting me the illusion of independence, while the parameters of my new life were drawn around me in invisible ink. 2 months into our marriage, Henry Caldwell summoned me to his office. The building itself was designed to intimidate. All glass and steel security checkpoints, a lobby that soared 3 stories high. Henry's office, a corner suite with panoramic views, was furnished with a desk big enough to land a small plane. He gestured to the lower chair, a power dynamic so obvious it bordered on parody. "Violet," he began, using my name with a casual familiarity that felt unearned. "Jack tells me you're one of the brightest minds in cybersecurity. We could use someone with your skills." He delivered it like an extraordinary opportunity, not a family obligation to employ his new daughter-in-law somewhere visible but contained full story on the channel. Link below. Click now and watch what happened next.